Hello, my name is Kathy Hill. I'm the Financial Aid Liaison at Laurel Ridge. Welcome to our FAB webinar on budget basics. I'm recording this for the college's YouTube channel, so I hope you find it useful. I'll be reading or summarizing the slides to help our visually impaired friends. Keep in mind this webinar is intended to provide general guidance and resources to assist you. Budgeting skills are vital to our financial health. There are hundreds of presentations on the importance and benefits of budgeting, yet practical, easy to follow instructions can be hard to find. Today, I plan to guide you step by step on how to create a realistic, manageable budget. Today's agenda includes reasons to budget, steps to budgeting, looking for places to cut, tips for successful budgeting, and additional resources. Sometimes we make it more difficult than it has to be, but it's very important to know where we can cut if our budget doesn't balance. What percentage of Americans say they have a monthly budget? 25%, 53%, or 95%? Well, the correct answer is 53% of Americans say they have a monthly budget, and approximately 63% of U.S. adults can cover a $400 emergency expense using cash, savings, or a credit card that they can pay off immediately. And this is according to recent Federal Reserve data. Conversely, about 37% of Americans would struggle to pay for that emergency expense, with 13% of them unable to cover it at all, and others relying on borrowing or selling to cover the cost. Budgeting by generations. Most of you are likely Gen Z, as are my son and daughter, and these statistics are very broad and don't necessarily define the different generations, and some of you might identify more with some of the other generations. So Generation Z was born between 1997 and 2012. 69% are likely to create a budget to manage their finances. They're the lowest spenders at approximately $41,636 annually. Their key focus includes using social media-driven savings challenges such as the no spend months, and often they live with families to manage costs. Millennials were born between 1981 and 1996 and are known as high spenders. They account for 26.8% of U.S. retail spending. They prioritize spending on apparel, services, and experiences. While many are in their peak earning years, 24% fear they'll never have enough money to save for a down payment. However, they're also highly focused on budgeting. Now, technically, my husband and I are Gen X, being born between 1965 and 1980, but we identify more with the baby boomers, trying to be debt-free and own our own home. Generation X are the highest spending generation, with annual household expenditures averaging $95,692 in 2023. They also have the highest post-tax incomes and are often in their peak earning years. They also have the highest average retirement savings at $178,500. Baby boomers born between 1946 and 1964, as they retire, their expenditures drop significantly with lower average expenses. However, healthcare spending makes up a larger percentage of their budget compared to younger generations. They focus heavily on being debt-free and view home ownership as a key wealth-building tool. Reasons to budget helps you work toward financial goals, keep you from overspending, can make retirement saving easier, helps you to prepare for emergencies, can reveal spending habits, puts you in control of your money, helps you understand where your money is going, improve your ability to pay all your bills, pay down debt, save for things that you really want, and reduce stress. So a budget helps to create that financial stability. And by tracking expenses and following a plan, that budget makes it easier to pay your bills on time, build that emergency fund, and save for major expenses such as a car or home. Overall, a budget puts a person on stronger financial footing for both the day-to-day and the long term. A budget helps you work toward financial goals, can keep you from overspending, make retirement saving easier because you want retirement savings to go on autopilot. A budget also helps you prepare for emergencies. 13% of all households said they could not come up with that $400 emergency fund. And tracking your spending can reveal spending habits you would want to change or encourage you to keep on going. Steps to budgeting. Budgeting should not be difficult if you know the steps and have the right tools. Let's take a look at them now. Assessing your financial situation. Assess your current financial status by reviewing all sources of income and existing debts. Understand your ongoing expenses. Identify and categorize ongoing expenses to understand where your money goes each month. Setting your financial goals. Short-term goals, mid-term goals, and long-term goals. So setting the financial goals involves creating specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound targets. These are called SMART goals. And they help you in guiding your saving, spending, and investing. Effective goal setting requires taking a financial inventory, prioritizing goals by time frame, and again, short, mid, or long term, and using tools like automatic transfers and budget tracking to ensure progress. Setting short-term goals, such as saving for a vacation, can motivate immediate action and help you to maintain financial discipline. Midterm goals are usually bigger purchases or life transitions to help prepare you for those long-term goals. Establishing long-term goals like retirement planning is essential for ensuring financial security and peace of mind later in life. So, an example of a short-term goal could be that emergencies fund, which is saving 3 to 6 months of essential living expenses. A midterm goal could be paying down debt using either the debt avalanche, which is paying off the highest interest first, or the snowball, which is paying the smallest balance first, are two possible ways to pay down debt. Or the other could be major purchases, saving for a house, down payment, or for a new vehicle. And then long-term goal would be retirement, contributing a set percentage, for example, 15% of your income into a retirement account. Track your spending. Track your spending for 30 days. Have a container to put in the money coming in and one for going out. And then group them by category, either fixed or variable, and then add everything up. And again, a fixed expense is one that doesn't change over time. So this could be like your rent or mortgage payments, insurance, subscription costs, etc. Now, variable expenses can change from month to month, and those are things like your utilities, groceries, transportation costs, etc. Understanding the difference between wants and needs is crucial for effective budgeting and financial planning. If I had $1 for every time I asked the question, is it a need or a want, I'd be able to retire. Now, needs are essential for survival and well-being. They include your basic living expenses, like rent or mortgage, utility bills, health-related costs such as your health care and medications, food and water, and basic clothing, as well as transportation if you need that to get to school or to work. Now, wants are non-essential items that enhance our comfort and enjoyment. And they include entertainment like your movies, dining out, vacations, or luxury items like the designer clothing, the latest tech gadgets and subscriptions, like streaming services, gym memberships, upgraded versions of high-end electronics, your luxury cars. Those are all wants. Although I know people who can be quite talented at spinning them into a need. But anyway, so why does it matter, you ask? Well, differentiating between wants and needs help you to avoid debt. By prioritizing your needs, you can prevent overspending on those non-essentials. It also helps you to save effectively. So putting those funds to savings and investments becomes easier when you know what expenses are truly necessary. And you want to make informed decisions. Understand the consequences of not fulfilling a need versus a want can guide your spending habits. So, tips for differentiating. Ask yourself, is this a luxury or a necessity? And then consider the consequences. What happens if you don't get it? So, evaluate your lifestyle. Some items may be needs for one person, but wants for another, depending on their situation. And again, if you would like any help with more tips on budgeting or managing your finances, I'll do my best to help you. And you can reach me at my email address, which is chill@laurelridge.edu. What sources of income do you need to consider when building your budget? So you can track your sources of income like a credit balance from financial aid, work study income, part-time job income, money from family, or things that you sell or no longer need. So as a student, you can consider your financial aid refunds. However, don't depend on this as a steady income source until after the semester ends, because if you don't meet satisfactory academic progress, you may need to return the money under the Title IV requirements. Now, income from work study or part-time jobs, that's a great resource. Unfortunately, not all of our students are eligible for work study, and many times we don't have enough positions. Now, any money or support from your family, if you get a regular allowance or birthday gifts from family, you can easily add that into your budget for the year. Just remember to be sure to budget based on your net income and not your gross. So what is gross income, you ask? Well, gross income is the total income someone earns before any deductions, taxes, or expenses are taken out. Net income is the amount of profit that remains after all the expenses, taxes, interest, and other deductions have been subtracted from the total. Here is an example of a college budget. Keep in mind, budgets can and do change. After graduation, you'll need to make updates, including not being able to count on financial aid and various loans as sources of income, as well as eliminating any of your semester expenses. Additionally, you'll go into repayment on those loans. You may have to add those into your budget as an expense. And then look at the bottom line. If you have a positive number, great. If you have a negative number, well, you have to think, what do you need to do to readjust so that you have a balanced budget? And let's talk about that next. What do you do if you spend more money than you earn? Well, we know it's easier to cut expenses than it is to add income. And here are some different categories and suggestions to cut expenses. Food. Eat what you have on hand instead of going out to eat. Come up with creative ways to stretch any available ingredients that you have. Do your menu planning and then buy available generic brands. When it comes to entertainment, cut the cable, cancel any magazines or premium subscriptions that you don't need. When it comes to utilities, turn the thermostat back. It's amazing how much of a difference it can make. And then unplug anything with a power light on it. Switch to LED bulbs and turn the lights out when you leave a room. Other services you could eliminate are gym memberships, cleaning services like a car wash, and then reducing your cell phone data plan. And if you have a landline, get rid of it. Then you can also want to shop around for insurance to check on the premiums. You could possibly eliminate the collision for older or vehicles that you've paid for. See about raising your deductible. And then can you bundle the different types of insurance? And when it comes to essential shopping, look for discounts and use store coupons. Join any kind of store rewards cards. Just make sure that it won't take a hit on your credit score. So again, use those coupons when possible. Many of these should look familiar. Get rid of your debt. Monthly debt payments are the biggest obstacle to saving money. It robs you of your income. So get rid of that debt. The fastest way to pay off debt is with the debt snowball method. This is where you pay off your debts in order from smallest to largest. It sounds intense, but it's more about behavior changes than numbers. And once your income isn't tied up in monthly debt payments, you can finally use it to make progress toward your savings goals. 2, cut down on groceries. Most budgeters are shocked to find out how much they're actually spending at the grocery store each month. Save money on groceries by planning out your meals each week and taking inventory of your pantry before you head to the store. This will help prevent you from overspending and wasting food. And think about cutting back on snacks and junk food that can send you over your budget. 3, cancel subscriptions and memberships. Chances are you're paying for multiple subscriptions like Netflix, Spotify, gym memberships, trendy subscription boxes, or Amazon Prime. Cancel any subscription you don't use regularly. If you really miss one, subscribe again, but only if it fits into your new budget. 4, buy generic. In most cases, the only thing that's better about the brand name products is the marketing. Generic medication, staple food items, cleaning supplies, and paper products cost far less than their brand name marked up competitors. Do be wary about some generic cleaning products. They could be weaker, causing you to use more. 5, cut ties with cable. It's old school, and it's no secret that cable prices are continuing to rise. The average monthly price for cable TV is about $106 a month, which adds up to over $1,200 a year. Here's the good news. Cable isn't the only way to pay to watch your favorite shows these days. Cut the cord and find out how to save big with alternatives to cable like network apps and streaming services. You can even get a lot from our library, so check it out. 6, reduce energy costs. If you're serious about saving money, be more mindful of your energy consumption. Simple things like taking shorter showers, fixing leaking pipes, washing your clothes in cold water, and installing dimmer switches or LED light bulbs are easy wins. There might be an initial investment for new, more energy efficient appliances, but if you work it into your budget, you should be able to pay cash for those improvements. 7, pack a lunch. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average household spends approximately $3,154 eating out each year. Buying lunch a few times a week may seem harmless in the moment, but it's pretty indulgent, and not to mention preventable expense. 8, lower your cell phone bill by shopping around. Shopping around on lots of things is always a good idea. Think about the status quo bias. If your monthly cell phone bill rivals your monthly grocery budget, it's time to find ways to cut back. Save money on your cell service by getting rid of extras like the costly data plans. phone insurance, and unnecessary warranties. And don't be afraid to haggle with or completely switch your provider. It might require a little persistence and research, but the savings are worth it. 9. Ask about discounts. Many local vendors offer student discounts, so it never hurts to ask. And 10. Evaluate all purchases. Take time out and consider all of your purchases wisely. Avoid those impulse buys or pressure sales. Another thing is that's not on your savings. Save money without thinking about it by setting up your bank account to automatically transfer funds from your checking account into a savings account every month. Or set up your direct deposit to automatically transfer 10% of each paycheck into your savings account. All right, technology assistance. There's an app for that. Starting a budget may feel overwhelming, but there is help. If you're old school, certainly you can pull out paper and pencil and have the 2 columns, one for money coming in and one for money going out. You can also download free spreadsheets from Microsoft or Google Docs so you can easily make changes and adjustments. And last, you can go to the app stores for your smartphones and find and download one of the apps that assist you in building and maintaining your budget. Most of those apps do cost a few bucks, but you can consider that an investment in your future. And these apps are nice because you can import data from your accounts and you can do some modeling. Common budgeting mistakes. Overspending. Assuming your budget will be the same every month. Not tracking your expenses. Not revisiting and adjusting your monthly budget. Ignoring small expenses, and then setting unrealistic goals. Here are some tips for successful budgeting. So, 1, pay yourself first. 2, get organized. 3, categorize from most important to least. 4, track your expenses. 5, include miscellaneous expenses. And 6, set SMART goals. And again, SMART goals are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. I do have a video about SMART goals within the Satisfactory Academic Progress video. If you would like a copy of that URL, because it's on the college's YouTube channel, feel free to shoot me an email. And that email is chill@laurelridge.edu. So here are some additional resources. Feel free to take a snapshot of them. And again, you can email me at chill@laurelridge.edu if you'd like me to send you the URLs. And there are all sorts of other resources available. Just make sure you're doing your research. Again, most of the presentations that I'm doing for the Financial Awareness Basics are through ECMC, so be sure to check them out. And again, these are How to Budget Money in 5 Steps through NerdWallet, How to Budget by Cash Stuffing Envelope, and that is Ramsey Solutions, and my husband and I use a lot of theirs. And then My Money 5 and Tools. So thank you again. I do have some additional upcoming webinars. April 21st will be What You Need to Know About Financial Aid, and then some. And then May 19th, What's Satisfactory Academic Progress? June 23rd is Reducing Monthly Utility Costs. And then July 14th is Reducing Monthly Digital Expenses. Thanks for coming today. This webinar was intended to provide general guidance and resources to assist you, and I do hope that it helped. And again, you can reach me at chill, that's CHILL, at laurelridge.edu. Thanks and have a great day.